Have you ever looked at someone making $50,000 a year and wondered how they somehow own a home, invest in the stock market, take vacations, build side businesses, and seem completely relaxed about money? Because here's the shocking truth. In America, income and wealth are not the same thing. And the people quietly building wealth on an average $50,000 salary understand something that millions of Americans never learn. Most people spend their entire lives trying to earn more money. Wealthy people learn how to keep more money, multiply it, and make it work for them. And what I'm about to show you is the exact process ordinary Americans use to turn a middle-class income into real wealth. Not lottery wealth. Not celebrity wealth. Not trust fund wealth. Real, practical, life-changing wealth. The kind that creates freedom. The kind that lets you sleep peacefully at night. The kind that gives you choices. And stay with me, because near the end of this video I'll reveal the one mindset shift that separates the average person who stays broke for 40 years from the person who quietly becomes a millionaire. Most people never realize this. A person earning $150,000 can be broke. A person earning $50,000 can become wealthy. And that's exactly where our story begins. Imagine two friends. Both are 25 years old. Both graduate from college. Both get jobs paying around $50,000 per year. At first, their lives look identical. Same income. Same opportunities. Same city. Same starting point. But 10 years later, their lives are completely different. One is drowning in debt. Living paycheck to paycheck. Stressed every month. Worried about bills. Afraid of emergencies. The other has investments. Growing savings. Multiple income streams. And a net worth approaching 6 figures. What happened? Did one get lucky? Did one inherit money? No. The difference came down to a few decisions that most people ignore. And here's where things get interesting. The first thing ordinary Americans who build wealth understand is that income is only the starting line. Most people think money problems disappear when they get a raise. But that's rarely what happens. A raise often creates a bigger lifestyle. A bigger apartment. A newer car. More subscriptions. More dining out. More spending. And suddenly the raise disappears. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it quietly destroys financial futures every single day. Almost nobody talks about this part. When someone earning $50,000 learns to live on $40,000, they instantly create a wealth-building machine. Because that extra $10,000 is no longer spending money. It's seed money. It's future freedom. It's future options. It's future wealth. Now I know what some people are thinking. Saving $10,000 sounds impossible, and for many Americans, it does. But remember, we're not talking about perfection. We're talking about progress. The average American often doesn't know exactly where their money goes. Thousands disappear every year through small habits that feel harmless in the moment. The expensive car payment. The impulse purchases. The constant upgrades. The subscriptions nobody uses. The convenience spending. The little leaks slowly sink the ship. But what happened next changed everything for countless people. Instead of asking, "What can I buy?" they started asking, "What can this dollar become?" That single question changes everything. Because a dollar spent is gone. A dollar invested can work for decades. And that's where the second step begins. Investing. Not gambling. Not chasing hot stocks. Not trying to get rich overnight. Real investing. The boring kind. The kind nobody brags about on social media. The kind that actually works. Let's say someone invests just $500 per month. That's roughly $6,000 per year. Nothing magical. Nothing unrealistic. But if that money grows at historical market averages over decades, something incredible happens. Compounding takes over. Money begins making money. And then the money made by money starts making money. At first it feels slow. Painfully slow. Almost invisible. But then something remarkable happens. Growth starts accelerating. The snowball gets bigger. Momentum builds. And years later, people look at the results and call it luck. But it wasn't luck. It was consistency. Stay with me because the next point is where most people fail. The biggest mistake isn't lack of income. It's lack of patience. Modern culture trains people to want everything immediately. Instant delivery. Instant entertainment. Instant gratification. But wealth operates on a completely different timeline. Wealth rewards patience. Wealth rewards discipline. Wealth rewards consistency. And that's why ordinary Americans who become wealthy often look boring from the outside. They're not chasing every trend. They're not buying every luxury item. They're not trying to impress strangers. They're building assets. And assets change everything. Here's a powerful distinction. Liabilities take money from your pocket. Assets put money into your pocket. A luxury car usually costs money. A dividend-paying investment can generate money. A rental property can generate money. A digital business can generate money. An online asset can generate money. And this leads us to the third wealth-building secret. Multiple income streams. Remember the title of this video. How Americans Turn a $50,000 Salary into Wealth. Notice we didn't say they stay dependent on one paycheck forever. Because the smartest wealth builders understand one critical truth. One income stream equals one point of failure. If that paycheck disappears, what happens? For millions of Americans, everything falls apart. Bills continue. Rent continues. Debt continues. Stress explodes. Fear takes over. That's why successful wealth builders eventually add income stream number 2. Maybe it's freelancing. Maybe it's a side hustle. Maybe it's content creation. Maybe it's a small online business. Maybe it's dividend income. Maybe it's real estate. The source matters less than the principle. The goal is simple. Create income that doesn't depend entirely on your employer. Because freedom grows when dependence shrinks. Think about that. Freedom grows when dependence shrinks. And here's where things get really interesting. Many millionaires didn't start with massive salaries. They started by increasing the gap between earning and spending. Then investing the difference. Then creating additional income streams. Then reinvesting those profits. Over and over. Year after year. Most people underestimate what can happen in 10 years. 10 years sounds long. But imagine yourself 10 years older anyway. Those 10 years will pass. The real question is what will happen during them. Will you arrive with assets? Or excuses? Will you arrive with investments? Or regrets? This is where fear becomes useful. Because there are two kinds of pain. The pain of discipline. And the pain of regret. One weighs ounces. The other weighs tons. Imagine being 60 years old. Looking back. Knowing you could have invested. Could have started. Could have learned. Could have built. Could have changed your future. But never did. That regret is expensive. Far more expensive than temporary sacrifice. Most people never realize this until it's too late. But you don't have to be one of them. Let's talk about something even more important. Identity. Because wealth is rarely just a math problem. It's usually an identity problem. People spend according to who they believe they are. Someone who sees themselves as a consumer behaves differently from someone who sees themselves as an investor. Someone who sees themselves as a victim behaves differently from someone who sees themselves as a builder. This single decision changed the outcome completely for many successful people. They stopped asking, "Can I afford this?" and started asking, "Will this move me closer to freedom?" That question changes spending. It changes habits. It changes priorities. It changes futures. And here's something that might surprise you. The wealthiest habits often look unimpressive. Reading instead of scrolling. Investing instead of spending. Learning instead of complaining. Planning instead of reacting. These actions don't generate applause, but they generate results. The average person wants visible success. The wealthy person builds invisible foundations. Because they understand a powerful truth. Nobody sees the roots. Everyone sees the tree. Now imagine a typical American worker earning $50,000. Instead of upgrading every part of life, they decide to improve 1% at a time. They increase savings. Reduce bad debt. Learn investing. Build a side income. Develop valuable skills. Improve financial knowledge. And they repeat that process year after year. What starts as a modest income gradually transforms into something much bigger. Not because the salary changed dramatically, but because the system changed. And systems create outcomes. Here's where most people fail. They chase motivation. But motivation comes and goes. Systems remain. A person who invests automatically doesn't need daily motivation. A person who saves automatically doesn't need constant willpower. A person who follows a proven system eventually gets results. That's why successful people build environments that support success. They remove friction. They automate good decisions. They simplify the process. And slowly, wealth becomes inevitable. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, life is expensive. Housing costs have increased. Healthcare costs have increased. Education costs have increased. Many Americans feel squeezed. That's real. But here's the dangerous trap. Believing you're powerless. Because the moment someone believes nothing can improve, they stop looking for opportunities. And opportunities still exist. New industries. AI tools. Online businesses. Remote work. Digital products. Skill-based freelancing. Investment platforms. Opportunities that didn't exist 20 years ago. The people building wealth today aren't waiting for perfect conditions. They're taking action despite imperfect conditions. That's a massive difference. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates bigger action. And suddenly a completely different future starts emerging. Almost nobody talks about this part. The first signs of wealth are usually invisible. It's not the fancy car. It's not the luxury watch. It's not the designer clothes. The first signs are peace of mind. Lower stress. Emergency savings. Financial confidence. Options. Choices. Freedom. Those things don't look impressive on Instagram. But they feel incredible in real life. And that's the goal. Not looking rich. Becoming rich. There's a huge difference. One creates attention. The other creates freedom. Now we're approaching the most important lesson in this entire video. The lesson that changes everything. Remember those two friends we talked about earlier? The one who struggled and the one who built wealth. Their biggest difference wasn't intelligence. It wasn't education. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It was time horizon. One thought about this weekend. The other thought about the next decade. One optimized for immediate pleasure. The other optimized for long-term freedom. One chased appearances. The other chased assets. And over time, those decisions compounded. Just like money compounds. This is why wealth often looks slow. Until suddenly it looks fast. People see the result. They miss the years of preparation. They see the success. They miss the sacrifice. They see the freedom. They miss the discipline. But now you know the truth. And this is where the opportunity becomes real. Because you're not watching this video by accident. Right now, millions of people are spending hours consuming content that changes nothing. But you're here learning how wealth is actually built. That matters. Because knowledge can change direction. And direction changes destinations. Think about where you want to be 5 years from now. 10 years from now. Imagine opening your investment account and seeing real growth. Imagine having multiple income streams. Imagine not panicking over unexpected expenses. Imagine having choices most people don't have. Imagine waking up knowing your future is becoming stronger every month. That's what wealth really provides. Not just money. Options. Security. Freedom. Time. The ability to live life on your terms. And here's the reality. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is today. Not next year. Not after another raise. Not after everything becomes perfect. Today. Because every day delayed is a day compounding doesn't work for you. Every month delayed is another opportunity lost. Every year delayed makes the journey harder. And that's the part many people regret. They wait. And wait. And wait. Until suddenly a decade disappears. Don't let that happen. Start small if necessary. Start imperfectly if necessary. But start. Save something. Invest something. Learn something. Build something. Because the person you become matters even more than the money you earn. The habits you create today can shape the rest of your life. And one day, years from now, you'll look back at this moment. You'll either be grateful you took action, or you'll wish you had. The choice belongs entirely to you. If this video opened your eyes to how ordinary Americans build wealth on an average income, then don't just watch and move on. Take one action today. One investment. One lesson. One step. One change. Because wealth isn't built in a single day. It's built through thousands of small decisions made consistently over time. And those decisions start now. Your future self is watching. Make them proud.